coffee over there if you want. You good? Want water?
That'd be great. Much appreciated.
Yeah, really.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. All right, folks, 10:30. We'll be getting started here in just a sec. Find a seat, please. What's that? Good seats. You like it? Just a couple things while everybody's getting settled. Everybody's phones on silent, if you could, please. If you're on the lodge Wi-Fi here, by any chance, if you don't mind just disconnecting, we're trying to keep the Zoom meeting as good as possible for the people that are at home or away. If you are eligible to vote here today, you should have a ballot. Looks like this. 2 ballots. Look like that. So if you didn't, check it in the back.
I was hitting it on mine.
Did you start opening up that Zoom yet? You doing that now?
Yeah, it's all set and it's recording. Yeah.
I don't think it's recording on this one.
You just hit record on that, right?
No, I did not touch it. I was just pointing.
Do you have any participants on Zoom at this point or no?
Yep, there's one.
One. Not to put you on the spot, one person on Zoom, but if you don't mind just chatting in and making sure that you can hear us, all right?
They're on mute. Oh, who it is?
We're going to work on the assumption that they can hear.
How's that? It's this camera here, and what it's doing, it's going to be set up during the meeting to go to the person that's speaking. Yeah.
Is that do you want to turn off your camera so it's not pointed at your face?
It's that camera right there.
Oh,
it's not the.
I don't think so. When you just pulled your camera.
Really? It did. All right. I just. How's that?
Better.
See my head anymore?
Right.
All right.
Much better. But we don't have anything on the owl, right?
No, the owl's working.
The owl's working.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And this one will show the one.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Thanks everybody for being here today on a snowy spring morning. A quick special thanks to the town for coming out and sanding this morning. The roads were pretty slick, so they came out in very short order and got everything sanded for us. I know it's funky out there, but they did a great job. It is 10:35. We'll call this meeting to order. Mountain Lakes, a little history. We're a four-season recreational community established in 1965, and we have been a village district within the town of Haverhill since 1976. The district covers right around 1,550 acres. It includes 2 beautiful lakes, 4 community beaches, and hundreds of acres of common green belt areas. There's just over 340 completed homes in the district, with more being built every year. The district is run by a 3-commissioner board. I'll get to those introductions in just a minute. The commissioners greatly value and depend on the community to assist in filling positions on various boards and committees. There's sign-up sheets by the door up there if anybody's interested or has any questions or maybe excited to join a committee. Please jot down your name and somebody will get in touch with you. My name is Dave Long. I'll be the moderator for today's meeting. Our 3 commissioners are Lisa Edwards, Bob Long, and Eric Cassidy. Our treasurer is Seth Cassidy, over here. Our clerk is Karen Cox. Everybody should have met her on the way in. Legal counsel is Mike Malaguti. Name good? Nailed it. That was my third question that I was going to ask. And our supervisors of the checklist, thank you for being here, Martha Trott and Regis Rook. I'd also like to point out we have a zoning officer is Courtney Lance, and our facility and water manager is John Mitchell. Just how this meeting will run. Direct any questions to me as the moderator, and the questions will be answered in the order that they come in. Raise your hand if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to take them in the order that you raised at the beginning. Any proposed amendments to any of the articles that were presented today, I will ask that they're done in writing. We can do that up here, you can do them down there, and we'll present them so that we get a good recollection of what the article that we're voting on is. This meeting represents a traditional form of town government where the registered voters, all of these people that are here today, have the authority to speak and vote on behalf of the district. Budgetary and other questions are put before us in the form of a warrant. It is important to note that registered voters who speak and vote during this meeting are doing so in their capacity as legislators. There are individuals here today who are not registered voters in the district and therefore do not have those same rights. It's up to this voting public to decide whether a non-voter may address this body. Given that our legal counsel, as well as many of our homeowners, aren't voters in this district, we will likely want to hear from them during this meeting. I'll open this up by asking for a motion to allow non-voters to speak at this annual meeting.
I so move. I'll second that.
Forwarded and seconded. Any discussion? So we're going to use our cards to vote. It doesn't really matter which side we hold. We'll do yeses first and then noes second. All those in favor, please hold up your yes cards. All those opposed, hold up your no. The yeses have it. I declare. That's good. We'll have a 2-minute time limit for speakers on each topic, except for in any initial presentations on articles, which will be allowed up to 3 minutes. New speakers will always have priority over people who have already spoken, but if your time allows it, you're welcome to continue on. We're looking forward to a constructive and respectful meeting today. At this point, I'll ask everybody to stand, remove any hats, and we'll do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the warrant can be found on page 13 of your book, if everybody has one of those. We're going to start off with Article 1. We'll break those off. There will be a fourth. If there's 3 listed, and there will be a fourth added. So Article 1 reads, to elect district officers. To elect the following district officers: a commissioner for a term of 3 years, a district clerk for a term of 1 year, a treasurer for a term of 1 year. So I'll ask for a motion to
I'll make the motion to add a moderator to this Article 1?
I was just trying to decide, should we vote on the article as it sits and then amend it, or does it matter?
I think you can entertain the amendment right now.
Okay. So, we're gonna add a number 4, a moderator for a term of 2 years. So the amendment is just to add that number 4.
Second?
I'll second that.
So it's been voted on and motioned and seconded. All those in favor of adding the 4th moderator for a term of 2 years, please hold up the yes card. Okay. All those opposed, your no card. Seeing none. Article 1 has been amended to include a 4th district officer. So now I can move on to, so we'll start with number 1. I hear a nomination for a commissioner for a term of 3 years.
Mr. Moderator, a couple of years ago, I nominated Eric Cassidy as a commissioner. I was impressed with his intelligence and his interest in the district and his vast geographic knowledge of the entire area. And he was voted in. None of those things have diminished. In the last 2 years, I've noticed he's a good team worker. He has what it takes to show initiative and follow it up. Plus, he has a great dog. The dog's name is Wag, and he treats the dog with respect and kindness. And anybody who does that has my immediate liking. I've got, 15 more minutes to talk?
Yeah, keep going.
So, no. So, Mr. Moderator, I nominate Eric Cassidy for another term. I'll second.
Second. Thank you. Do I hear any other nominations? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll ask that the district clerk cast one nomination for Eric Cassidy as commissioner.
One vote.
One vote.
I would like one vote cast for Eric Cassidy, commissioner.
You just go ahead, you cast the vote.
Oh, so we don't.
Correct, Mike. Yeah.
I have to say yes.
You just cast one vote for, and he is
All good.
duly elected then.
Congratulations, Eric.
Thanks,
Moving on, do I hear a nomination for a district clerk for a term of 1 year?
I nominate Karen Cox.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Second. Hear any other nominations? Seeing and hearing none. Mrs. Clerk,
I'll cast
can
one
you
vote.
cast one vote for yourself? Thank you. Congratulations, Karen. Thirdly, we have a treasurer for a term of 1 year. Do I hear any nomination?
Seth Cassidy.
Good.
I nominate.
I'm actually going to nominate my good friend here, Johnny Glazer, who would like to take my position.
I'll second that.
Hearing no second to Mark's, right? We'll move on.
Okay.
Yeah, so perfect. So we got our vote and our second. Any other nominations for treasurer? Seeing none.
I'll have to have the name again.
Johnny
Glazer.
John
John
Glazer.
I cast one ballot for John Glazer as treasurer.
Very good.
Thank you.
I'll take the last 2 years.
Yeah, Seth, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before the
Yeah.
meeting, I'll put it right on the record here. You said that you would still help out. So.
I will.
Anyways.
Thank you.
And fourth, we have a moderator for a term of 2 years. I hear a nomination. Ed, go.
I'd like to nominate Dave Long, who has done a very good job of moderator last year. So I'm nominating him for a term of 2 years.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Seconded?
2 years or 1 year?
2 years for moderator, yeah.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any other nominations?
Nobody wants that job, Dave.
Yeah. Could be all of you. Ms. Clerk?
I'll pass one vote for David Long for moderator for 2 years.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to Article 2. To change from an unofficial ballot to an official ballot. Shall the nonpartisan ballot system for the election of town officers be adopted by this district? To see if the district will vote to change from a nonpartisan unofficial ballot system to a nonpartisan official ballot system. The nonpartisan official ballot system, as provided in RSA 669, Section 13, all candidates must file a declaration of candidacy during a period that begins the 7th Wednesday before the town election and ends on Friday of the following week. Our annual meetings would continue to be conducted in the same manner as in the past. Additionally, registered voters may request an absentee ballot under specific guidelines. A ballot vote is required for this article. So, can I have a motion to accept this article as written?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And any discussion? Go ahead.
Mr. Moderator, I wonder if anybody, either on the governing board or anyone else interested in the forum, could give us some idea of what this change will entail, why it's good and maybe why it ain't. Objective point of view.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start. I'm actually in support of this article. I think, like many communities, we have an aging population who cannot necessarily sit through a half-day or a multiple-hour meeting, and that inability to actually attend because of some infirmity or other issue shouldn't deprive them of the opportunity to vote. So on that basis, I support this.
I am not in support of it, and the reason is I built my first home up here. It was a vacation home in 1988, and absolutely loved New Hampshire. And then when we moved up here full time, I watched how these community meetings went, and I see with pieces like this, it takes away from that. This is only a piece of it. SB2 is even worse than that. It takes away any discussion. It just comes out. So I think the tradition of New Hampshire is something that was really appealing to me, and so I'd like to stay in that tradition that they formed a couple hundred years ago. So.
I'm in favor of this bill primarily because I don't know a lot of the people, and not being from a community like this process is a little confusing to me still. And when I get here and we start moving into things and then we're naming people, and I don't know who these people are. And for me, it would be more beneficial to know the people in advance so that I can make an informed decision on, who I want to vote for. But when I get here and people just put names up, I don't know who they are. Oh, I mean, I might know some of them, but then I might not know other people. So I'm in favor of it because I feel like I would like to know in advance what's going on before I get here so that I can make an informed decision.
Very good. Joe, you have your hand up.
Yeah, Mr. Moderator, we've been calling for more transparency here in Mountain Lakes for a long time. We've just had all these races here go uncontested, unfortunately. So there was no diversity here coming to the board and saying, hey, we want more people running for these seats, we want more diversity. Unfortunately, last year, a lot of us didn't even know who Lisa was, and she's done such a fantastic role as commissioner, so we're thankful. A lot of us didn't know who Seth was until he moved in. Unfortunately, we don't know who Johnny is here. It's hard to kind of understand everybody here in the community, and without these races coming to ballot like this, a voting system, we can't decide who we should vote for, or how we should know these people, and if we should trust them with our finances, stuff like that, if we don't know ahead of time. So we really need more transparency here in Mountain Lakes We need to know who's running ahead of time. Thank you.
Try your hand over there, Ray.
Yeah, I agree that I think this ballot voting should go on. I sympathize. I commiserate with you being new. I'm coming on my third year here. I'm still learning things. And again, you're voting for people you don't know. It's names on paper. Whereas I think the ballot process the information will get out sooner. I mean, we do get the articles out ahead of time. You know, they're printed, and I think there's a clause in there where the people that are running for office have to submit a letter of intent or something like that, so that their information will get out to the people. You know, so you'd have an opportunity to, who is Joe, who is Seth, you can read the biography and get more information and make a more educated decision. And again, not be intimidated. I mean, maybe you're not intimidated in a room this size, but I know that the town meeting does it this way as well, and it's a much larger group. And it's very intimidating to stick your hand up when you're against majority. Whereas if you're doing a paper ballot, you fill it out, you hand it in, and then that's the way it should be, I think. I've been voting for over 50 years, and it's the first time I run into something like this. And I just think, yes, it's traditional, and it's quaint because of New Hampshire is the way it is, but it's kind of archaic. The times have changed. We don't ride horses anymore. We have electricity now. We don't have oil lamps. So it's time to change with the times.
It's more important to ask you for everything that's been spoken, plus the last comment of moving forward. Everybody is important that needs to vote. I have been voting, again, like this gentleman said, with my ballot every year. Who I'm voting for, the issues, and I make my informed decision ahead of time. Not just when we're all sitting here, not just when we're all saying, oh, this is what's happening, and oh, okay, and what we do, it's very archaic. And I propose that we move forward with this very strongly.
Let's have your name, please.
Laura. I agree that it would be more transparent to see the names ahead of time. Can someone explain to me the difference between us just voicing names in this meeting and voting on the spot and just seeing a name on a piece of paper when you don't know that person, and how putting them on the ballot makes a difference?
So, if I could, there's a declaration of candidacy period that happens before this meeting would take place. I did quite a bit of homework on it, just trying to figure out other small districts. There's a moderator workshop that we go to and just finding out, how it works in different areas. But basically, it's the way that it's worded here in Article 2. There's a declaration of candidacy that has to happen the 7th Wednesday before this meeting, and then ends on the Friday of the following week. So there's like a 10-day period where you have to declare your candidacy. That gets your name on the ballot. So then the ballots are prepared, and then absentee ballots could be mailed. But basically, when you come here today, you got this ballot that was pre-printed because it's required to be because of Article 2 and the way that it's worded. There would be one like this with a write-in. You would always have a write-in in addition, right? So it would have, say, 2 people showed up in that time period. Their names would be pre-printed on the ballot, and then you would show up here and vote when the polls are open. The polls are required to be open for some amount of time that is set by either this body or by the selectmen or our board of commissioners. So the way that I would imagine it happening, and I don't know this, but I would say that the polls would be open for 1 hour during this meeting. We would have ballot boxes, and it would work just like the town meetings work. A couple of other points that I found out. We have a district clerk who's fantastic, Karen. She has to be available to accept people's candidacy. So the town clerk has an office, right, and keeps hours. So I'm not sure exactly how it would work when people want to declare their candidacy. That's something that we would have to, I don't know, talk to legal about or figure that out, because we don't have a town clerk's office or a district clerk's office. It's a requirement by state statute that she be available for so many hours during that time, and definitely on that Friday before, from 3 to 5 p.m. So that's just another consideration.
David, I want to get his take on this, because I think we can do this kind of like we do the RFPs. Say they need to be in by a certain date, and then she would come in and review them. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, the statute only requires that candidates file in person on the last day of the filing period. So in my mind, that leaves open the possibility that they could do so some other way. In other words, not in person, unless they're doing so on the last day of the filing period.
Thank you. So that's all. Go ahead.
I have 2 points I'd like to make. One, do we have any idea of what the additional cost to the district is be? And secondly, as an alternative to having a valid vote, if you declared yourself domiciled in Mountain Lakes, that would enable you to vote in Mountain Lakes, regardless of where your other residence is. Is that correct?
So domicile requires that you are here and that you intend to remain here. So you can't domicile yourself for one day and then, if I understand.
Isn't there 50% plus one of the time?
No, it's a fact-based question of where you consider yourself to reside. And for that reason, we have people who have maybe just moved in, have been here for one day. This can be their domicile. Or they may be away for 3 months. But they are going to come back here and they consider it their home. That's what domicile is.
And that's not changing.
Correct. That's a matter of state law that we don't have the ability to change at our level.
To answer his question about the cost, I think the cost of implementation of something like this, if the people vote for it, is it's moot point. If people want to go with this, I think there's obviously going to be additional costs, but I don't think it's going to be something where we would say, oh, let's not do it because of a cost factor. I don't think it's going to be all that much. So.
And I'll just add one more thing, because I jotted it down. One of the things that kept coming up in conversations during these meetings was the absentee ballots. And I don't know how many we would have in a small district like this, but most towns and districts are going to absentee ballots are getting sent out priority mail, because so many of them were being lost. And people weren't getting them, they weren't getting back. So there's a cost there, but not that it's a big cost, but just something to consider. Go ahead.
Mark Johansson, I have a question to the board and then a comment. How many full-time residents do we have currently now? Do we know?
Are you talking about registered voters?
Well, registered voters are people that are living here full-time. I mean, maybe they haven't registered yet, but do we have any idea what the count is? There's only 360 houses, roughly?
365, yeah. It's what? Well, no, less 16, because the 16 in Bath. So yeah, so it's 350.
Maybe 200 full-time people here.
There is. Regis, is this tallied up?
289 voters.
Thank you. There's 289 voters, and there's probably. I think it was 2.3 per household is the average. So 2.3 times 350. So that's what you'd come up with.
Okay, so 289 roughly voters, which means there's probably 150 households roughly.
Yeah. That actually, yeah.
Okay. To get to my point, I vote against this as a change because we've had people come and says, I don't know who these people are. There is a list out front here of, I think, 8 committees we have open that I think now are mostly blank for volunteers. I run the water committee. We have openings for 5 people on the water committee. We have 4 people right now. We need volunteers. We need people to get involved in this community if they're gonna learn who the people are, how the place runs, what the function is, who does what. And right now, we don't have people getting involved. They say, I want to vote absentee. Well, how is that going to help you learn who the people are? It's not.
Hey, Mike, if you're looking for more volunteers, you might want to ask a little more nicely.
Okay. We're really handy. We gave you coffee and donuts in the morning. No, Sarah, I'm just sorry. We moved here full-time in 2016, built a house here in 2007. I've learned a lot of people before I became on the committee, but I learned a lot more people when I got on the committee, because then it was all of a sudden, well, talk to Johansson when I was a commissioner. But getting back to the root cause, we don't have that many people here. It's maybe 150, 160 people that are voting, 289, 150 households. 25% is here right now. Walk around and meet the people that are in the room. I mean, that's all it takes. That's all I'm going to say. I would say no, keep it as it is.
Thank you, Mark. Sorry, I saw your hand before. Go ahead. Yeah, please, just say your name.
Karen Hall.
Yep.
I can see both sides of it, and so I'm kind of in between, but I just kind of have some more questions about the areas. I'm brand new to the area, don't know anybody. I will be a part of some of the committees, but of course, you know, not some time to get to know people. This first side of this meeting was very uncomfortable for me, because people are throwing names out, and I'm like, I don't know names. I don't even know who people would be that I could put up. So if we wouldn't go this way, we would have changed that. Would people also be able to maybe volunteer stuff, or not volunteer, nominate somebody that maybe doesn't want to step forward, or somebody just likes to step forward on their own and do no. But that person would obviously be able to say yes or no. And would there be availability if we did this? Yes, they'd have to register with her. Are they going to be available for us to go and meet and greet? Or are we going to have to chase them down to their house?
Anybody want to take that? There's some questions in there that I don't know the answers to.
I couldn't understand. What are the questions?
If we name ourselves as someone on the ballot, how does anyone from the public come and meet us any differently than just...
Okay, and I think the answer is it goes back to Mark's point. And as I talked about tradition, and the traditions are going away, and I understand that a couple of people mentioned change, but the tradition of that is that you get to know people in a community this size. You would think that we would have a hell of a lot more people involved in these committees and stuff, so you get to know other people and things like that. But I get it. People are working a lot. They're working hard and stuff, and so they don't necessarily have the time. I'm torn between the thing because of that reason. But I still believe in that old tradition. You know, get involved, get to know your neighbors, get to know the people who are involved, and that's how it comes together. And even if this does pass, we should still do that and make sure that you get to know people, so that you can make an informed decision when it comes to voting.
Beth, go ahead.
Yes, I'm Beth. I would like change to an official ballot, but people can get to know what's going on if you do the Zoom for the meetings, because then you can really see what's happening without being present at the district office. So if you did that, and you could vote, and we know who you're voting for.
Thank you. Jonathan?
Just quickly, I haven't thought about this measure enough to have a very firm opinion about it, but since I sort of slipped in there before, I didn't know it would be like that. Let me just quickly take up a minute and introduce myself. John, I'm old college buddies with Eric. That's how I know him, and that's how I'm even here. I live here in this community now. I'm neighbors with Eric. That means I've also known his brother Seth, who's now treasurer for a while. It's very simple how it happened. Lisa came to me and said, my schedule has less flexibility now. Can you do this? And I've tried to actually design things so I have a lot of flexibility. And it makes sense to me, living here and having flexibility, to do something for the community. And with my relationship with Eric, it makes a lot of sense. We have a very shorthand with each other, and we're always in contact if I'm ever needed. And I take being entrusted with that responsibility very seriously. I have to just hang around afterwards, just chat with anyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Joey, go ahead.
Yeah, so, that just brought up a good point there. There are inner cliques here in Mountain Lakes that you can't avoid because that's community. That's how communities work. Like, a lot of us don't know Johnny here, and he's going to do a fantastic job as treasurer. We know that. But Eric and his brother Seth already know him, and a lot of us in the community don't know him. But if we would have known ahead of time, there would have been multiple chances to meet Johnny. We have a fantastic technology nowadays, social media. We have other aspects where we can get to know Johnny, and we can say, hey, you want to meet down at the lake, sit at a picnic table, and chat. Do you want to go for a hike up Montauk here and chat about mountain lakes and get to know each other? That's what we're looking for here in this community. We're looking for that outreach, because as the community gets more global, aspects like this are going to be more challenging, but we have to move forward. We have to know people ahead of time to make this legit and feel comfortable here.
Cindy, go ahead.
Super strong feeling. I understand the reasons to vote for it, but I also want to point out how much conversation has just happened here about this one article, and that this conversation wouldn't happen if this is all done ahead of time. So this is allowing us the opportunity to have this conversation with everybody here. I'm sensitive to the fact that timing and whatnot can come, but this. I don't know, meeting down at the lake, it all sounds good, but no one's doing that now. What makes you think they're going to do that once we have a different game?
Mr. Moderator.
I got to move. I'll come back to you. I'm not going to leave you there, but Karen, go ahead. Sorry.
I work in a school, and no question is a question that's stupid, so I'm going to ask my question. We know every year that we're going to vote for these different positions. We know that. Every year, from today until next year. If I wanted to be a commissioner, I would have stepped forward by now. I would have, said, I really like Eric, and I think I could do better. So I wouldn't start today and say it. I would have started 6 months ago. I might have a conversation with Eric. This is why I would like to be it. And then maybe I'd have conversations. I would be the one having the conversations with people. And all of these positions are open every year. So people that wanted to be on any of these positions could have stepped forward before today. Although with Mark, those things remain empty. Get involved. It's just really a nice day. And you don't have to be involved 100%. I work full time. I like to do the weekend things. I like to do the summer things. I'm not available during the school year. So I just take a step back. But I still have known so many people by extending a hand.
Thank you. Barbara, go ahead.
Getting to know everybody is not a problem. But having a formal recognition of the position rather than word of mouth from so-and-so, because word of mouth, just saying, you can be all over the place. So just having some formal acknowledgement that, okay, this is great, because now I officially know that this is happening. They talked about it, but they weren't sure. Okay, this is formal now. Now this is actually going to happen.
Understanding that everybody has a position, if you have something to say that hasn't already been discussed, please throw your hand up and we can.
I was going to ask to move the question because there's a lot of redundancy going on here.
I just wanted to add that on our Mountain Lake District Facebook page, every single meeting and Zoom video is posted for everyone to review after the fact if you don't make it. So that's one other way to start learning who the people that are volunteering already are, is just by going to our primary Mountain Lake District.
Joe?
Mr. Moderator, the discussion we're having right now is about this article. we had zero discussion about who was running for these seats in Article 1. So the comment in the back was not accurate because we're not discussing those people that are running. We don't know ahead of time. It's been happening for years.
If I could, because I witnessed that, and just to, there was no contention in any of the elections. So that's why there was no discussion. Typically at this meeting, when there are two commissioners or there are two treasurers or whatever it could be, there's a lot of discussion just like this. So that, I got that, and I understand. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, just one point that I think hasn't been made yet. One of the things you'll notice today is that there's no kids here. Hallelujah. Right? Yeah. But, I mean, no like kids, huh? But the people that have chosen to make Mountain Lakes their home, especially the race families, deserve a voice in this process as well. And the choice shouldn't be between, can I watch my kids for the day or can I vote the election? Yep. And that's just something that I think is important that we haven't really touched on yet. There's a lot of people that I know that want to be here today, but they can't because they're watching kids or they're watching elderly family members or whatnot. So I think it's an important thing.
Can I just share a response to that? In my history here, it has been fine to bring kids to these meetings. They're often playing downstairs. The only reason my kids aren't here is because they're at their school event today. So just for those of you that don't know, kids are 100% welcome at these meetings.
Brandon, we'll close with you.
I just want to make a point. Karen, when she was speaking, I think she brought up a point about if we go to the ballot, and all of a sudden, do we lose the ability of having a write-in at the last minute?
No, you don't think so.
From my understanding, there's always a write-in.
There is a
but
write-in.
it would just be a valid vote, so there would not be any discussion at this meeting about the nominations or the people that are on the ballot.
That's correct. I mean, I think the idea, what I understand, the people who are saying, hey, this is going to give us more information about the candidates, what I understand those people to be saying is you'll have the 7 Wednesdays in advance to know who they are, and that you can sort of do your own research, or if they want to, make themselves available, then they can do that. But I think that that you're exactly right. There's no discussion on the candidates at the time of the election. The rest of the meeting continues to be conducted the same way.
So there would be no write-in.
There is a write-in,
Yes,
but there's no discussion.
Correct.
That person can't get up and say, here's why I want it.
Right.
Can I second Bob's move the question?
Is there a motion? Yeah.
I made the motion to move the question, yeah.
All in favor, hold up your yes card.
No, ballot.
No, this is to move the question.
You're going to have to fill out the ballot and bring it up to the box. Any opposed? Oh. All right, so we'll keep it orderly, grab a pencil. Probably start with the back row. When you're ready, get up, work your way around to the ballot box.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
There's donuts there too.
It's good discussion.
There was, yeah.
Very good discussion.
Yeah, I think it might go your way.
Not my way or your way, just, what they want. Exactly.
doesn't have to stay open. We can determine the Has everybody had a chance to vote that is interested in voting? Right now. We're going to count right now. Folks, you're welcome to stay where you are. There's coffee and donuts and whatnot back there. Help yourself. We're going to close this ballot box for Article 2, and we're going to take a few minutes to get those counted. We'll make an announcement here in just a couple of minutes. Everybody's good. Final call.
No individual person that's not part of the, they don't, like, the district doesn't represent them, so when people are like, I don't know the candidates, but it's on an individual person to step up and do that.
Well, that I think, to your point, could be a problem either way this week. Last time, with all the clamor out in the community about who's running, okay, well, I'm going to declare.
Yeah, well, and it makes sense.
But I think there should be more of that. I don't think that's necessarily more of that. Because people are not going to step up.
I'm just saying, like, it's not the district's fault if Joe Mitchell runs a government, it's not the district's fault to not announce that. If it's not like, we don't represent Joe, it's himself that has to do it.
Changing this is not gonna magically,
Or no transparency. I mean, it gives you a name. Remember, she like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know the president.
I did. He's just living at home. I gave him a big bone. Yeah, I was like, I'll be back in a few hours. I went home. No one changes
that's done strong.
But like, that's my whole point. I'm sure you feel it. I think the point is to always put like stuff up, So like, you can just anyone, a lot of our videos get a number of.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have been holding on to upgrading this package.
Everybody got receipts, please?
But we don't, and I let them know that. That'll get them.
You should have told me.
All right, regarding Article 2, we got a total of 45 votes, 24 yes votes, 21 no votes. So the article passes.
Wow.
Okay.
Moving on to Article
And just
4.
to say, that will take effect next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Given that passed, should we make a motion at this time to set the hours at which that, no?
No, I would put it,
Because the way I read it, it said either this governing body or the selectmen.
yeah, I think that we want to look at that a little more carefully to make sure that we're on the right side of the law.
Yep.
So, I believe the board already has that authority. If somebody wanted to authorize the board to do it, they could certainly do that, but I don't think it's necessary.
The way I read it, the board can make the decision.
Right.
Good.
All right, perfect. Moving
And
on.
Mr. Moderator, I would encourage, and I'm sure the board would do this, to hear, public input or receive a comment on that before. I think that they would just make that decision in the dead of night. They would invite people to participate in it.
Okay. Dave, do you want to work with Mike and establish what we should be doing from the board? I guess I think it's not, I think it's more appropriate if somebody external does something instead of the board working with you. Are you comfortable with that?
Yep.
You comfortable with that? Okay, so if you could, and come up with a procedural thing of what we should do, and we're good. Thank you.
Very good. Moving on to Article, no. Holy cow, we'll try to pick it up. To see if the district appropriate funds for general operations. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $371,883 for general municipal operations. This article does not include appropriations contained in special or individual articles addressed separately. The commissioners recommend this article. A majority vote is required. Can I hear a motion to accept this as written?
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Please go ahead.
What's the tax implication of this?
The implication is we actually went down, we went from 290, or 301 to 293 in the actual tax. That's for Mountain Lakes, because that's not for the town is different.
No, I'm just trying to add them all up.
Yeah. So that's the difference, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
Very good.
Okay, just for two people, that's 301 is $3
Per thousand.
per thousand. On the mill rate added on for the 48. And then my other question, so this 371,000, all the other articles beyond this, outside of the water department articles, all the other articles that have dollar amounts considered by taxation, that is added on to the 371?
That's correct. This does not include any warrant articles. But the number that I gave for the 293 does include the warrant articles. $2.93 per $1,000 on the tax rate, and that does include the warrant articles.
So if we approve everything, then that 371 plus everything else ends up to be 451. 451,880.
That sounds about right, yeah.
I want to make sure I understand that as well. The 291 that you said, that assumes that all of these other articles pass.
$2.91.
Or 90.
Yes, it does. No, that's with the warrant articles included in it. The warrant articles are included that when they calculated that at the DRA, Department of Revenue Administration.
Any other questions or discussion? We'll be using our yes/no cards again. All those in favor of passing Article 3 as written, hold up your yes card. Karen, I need you. We got to count.
Are you voting? 37.
All those opposed, please hold up your no card. Seeing none, the article passes as written. Moving on to Article 4. Appropriate funds for water department operations. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $224,818 for the operation of the Mountain Lakes Water Department, with said funds come from water department user fees. The commissioners recommend this article. A majority vote is required. Can I get a motion to accept as written?
I so move.
Robert.
I'll second.
Michael. Discussion? Beth, go ahead.
Will this increase the user fees
No, the user fees will remain at $7.20 under
for
this.
this year?
Correct.
We've had something like 5 water breaks, maybe or more, I don't know, this year.
And we can't anticipate.
And so I hope you get the money, but I also want to say on a personal level, I have one of those whole house water filling systems.
Yeah.
And I not only pay you folks, the Mountain Lakes, all of them for the user fee, but because of the water break, I have to change my water filter more often, which is another fund, which doubles my amount that I pay for water.
Okay.
So I just want to say it's very important that the
Just to let people know about the breaks. We've had 5 breaks already this year. That's unusual. Last year we had 0 in the calendar year, one of the breaks was really expensive. The other ones were quick in and out, I'm just hoping this year was 4.5 feet of frost in the ground, and that's what happens. When you get some of the larger trucks and just the natural migration, it shifts and it cracks the old ductile iron pipes. I'm just hoping that no more this year.
Very good.
Is there a plan, a long-term plan to go through and start replacing all these mains, water mains?
That's a plan that the water company, the water department has talked about. Realistically, you're probably looking at several $1 million just to replace the 17 miles of road that we have pipe in it. We have replaced in problem areas. Bear Road, we've done some about 600 feet of replacement there. Up on Carr Road, we did another 300 feet of a replacement. And on Carr Road several years ago, we did another 300. When we did the direct line for the new for the new pump that goes up to the direct line, it was direct pumped up to our chambers. We replaced about 1.5 miles of older pipe there. So this is something we're always looking at, and it's something that you can't just say, okay, let's get a $2.5 million bond and let's do it all. It doesn't make sense. And when you look at the amount of breaks that we have from the business perspective, it doesn't make sense. You hit with you got to hit when you hit it, and look at the problem areas and address those. I know the water department's talking about one of the big ones we've had several leaks on is Gateway. It's an old plastic line in there, and that's probably going to be the next one that we hit, and that's probably about 1,500 feet of pipe down there. So, but that'll be the next one on the list that we hit. And we'll continue to look at areas. Yeah.
There's just, at the water committee meetings, there's also precautionary discussions of other ways to improve upon the system to become more efficient as a system as well. So it's not only like a response to old issues, we're always thinking forward and looking into the future with the water system.
When we do have a water break and we go into repair, do we just do a repair, or is there anything we can do at those times when we've already dug up to improve that? Do we do that now?
I think that was just addressed.
Yeah, I know you said that, but I don't know if those was the water.
It doesn't make sense for us because we're pulling in those teams on an emergency basis, and we don't want to be paying that on an emergency basis. What we do when we're going to replace a section is we go out and get bids on that so that we're getting it done for the least amount of money. If you did it during a break, it would cost you quite a bit of money. And most of the breaks are in the winter when we got frost in the ground, and that's not when you want to be doing that.
Not a lot of July breaks.
Exactly.
Anything else? All right, we'll go to our cards. All those in favor of passing Article 4 as written, hold up your yes card. All those opposed, please hold up your no cards. Seeing none, the article passes. Moving on to Article 5. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be added to the Water Emergency Capital Reserve Fund, established in 1993, revised in 1995 and 2015. This sum to be funded from Water Department user fees. The Commissioners recommend this article when a majority vote is required. I have a motion to approve. Second? I'll second. Thank you. And discussion.
Just to mention somebody asked about where does the money come from when we do it. This money will ultimately end up paying for some of the 5 breaks that we've had this year. And it's going to take away from some of the project work that we might have been looking at. But this is why we put so much into this fund. And there's another one that we'll talk about later. And just so we have enough for these types of situations.
All those in favor of the article as written, hold up your yes cards, please. All those opposed, hold up your no cards, please. Seeing none, the article passes as written. Moving on. New page.
New page.
Article 6, appropriate to the Mountain Lakes Water Capital Improvement Fund. See if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,600 to be added to the Mountain Lakes Water Department Capital Improvement and Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund, established in '92, revised in 2003 and 2018. This sum to be funded from Water Department user fees. Commissioners recommend this article. Majority vote is required. I hear a motion.
I so move. Second.
Any discussion?
Again, this is another one where we set money aside for any problems that we may have, and again, this is going to there'll be a fair amount between this one and the other one that's going to go to some of those breaks, and the rest will go to some of the capital improvements that we're looking to do.
Is there anywhere in this booklet that tells us how much is in each of these funds?
Yeah, the treasurer's report in the book is.
Page 11.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Now we're going to go.
So we have an emergency capital fund and a capital improvement fund. And it's all dealing with when you do these repairs or improvements, do you keep track of the costs separately? Or is the money just all thrown in one bucket?
We get billed separately on these items, and we do track and watch that. And we watch and see if we can take it out of because our goal is always to take it out of the user fees. So when we get that and we pay what we can out of the user fees, but if we see we're getting low on that, then we have to tap the capital reserves for those types of things.
Commissioner?
Just to comment, this $20,600 comes out of the $720 per user.
Correct.
So it's not added tax, and it's part of that $720 already.
That's good.
Yes, what is the total amount that you collect from the user fee?
It's right in the booklet there. Go to
$224,800.
So each one of these little things comes out of that?
This one we're voting on now correlates to it's part of the $224,000.
The others do too.
Article 6 and 5.
If they come from the water fees.
Is that correct? Article 6 and 5.
The warrant articles are separate from any of these warrant articles will be included in the $720. But it's not included in the budget as listed up front there.
Well, we're still paying for, each one of us is paying for this.
That is, these warrant articles are separate from the actual budget, and they are included in because each one of these says to be collected from user fees. So that is included in the 720 when we make those calculations.
Any other discussion? Ray?
I might be off there, right? I'll go pick her up.
So if you have money left over in these capital reserve funds, any of the capital reserve funds, does that amount, if there's any left, go into the next year?
No, the commission has taken, split that up and go on vacation.
You didn't tell me that, Bob.
You're a newbie. Anything that we have left over at the end of the year, whether it's in capital reserve or it's in our regular account balances, that goes into a fund balance that we take a look at for the next year. And unfortunately this year, because a lot of times we'll take money and put it into the warrant articles if we've got our fund balance built up quite a bit. So anything that is left over from the prior year goes into a fund balance.
Any other? Yeah, Mike.
I'm not sure if this is the right time for it. I'm curious about the personal meters that have been discussed in the past. Are they included in any of these? Are there funds for those? Where does that stand?
Meters is a thing that we've talked about for quite some time, and the logistics of putting meters in right now, the cost of it is going to be phenomenal, and the benefit to that is it just doesn't catch up with the cost. So what we're doing, and every once in a while, the state comes out with funding for things like this because they're looking for conservation. But the last several years, the state has been really tight on grants. And we have put in for grants on those things before, and we will put them in the future. But right now, that is not a consideration, a big consideration on the water department. Something we're always looking at, but not going to happen real soon.
Any other questions, discussion? Seeing none, we'll call this to a vote. All those in favor of voting on Article 6 as written, hold up your yes card. All those opposed, please hold up your no cards. Seeing none, the article passes as written. Moving on to Article 7. Appropriate to facility maintenance, improvement, and equipment CRF. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be added to the Mountain Lakes Facility Maintenance, Improvement, and Equipment Capital Reserve Fund, established in 1990, revised in 2016. This sum to come from taxation. The commissioners recommend this article. A majority vote is required. A motion to approve as written. Mark, thank you. Second? Second. Roland. Any discussion?
Will this mean our taxes go up?
This is all included in the taxes that I referenced before that actually went down from 301 to 293. And these are included in that.
Slightly down, just a little bit down, from the Mountain Lakes perspective.
Right.
We're still taxed with Haverhill.
Yeah, Haverhill got us.
Yeah.
Thanks for the transfer station.
So if this is added in, doing a quick math, that would make it $102,000 in our maintenance improvement fund. Is there a reason it needs to be so high?
Because we utilize it, the deck out there cost us $10,000-12,000. What are some of the other things we there was some work done on the office. There was work done on the pool. What's that? The ice rink. What's that? Edson Park. Yes, we did some work. So it's facilities, and that's what that goes. And that we used quite a bit out of that facilities thing, and there's still money left in the facilities. I don't have the figure right in front of me, but
It'll be 102 if we add this 25,000. 102,000.
So I'm just wondering.
Where were you getting that figure from?
Page 11 that you told me to reference.
Okay, and that was at the end of the year, but we pulled more money out of there for things that we've needed to use it for. So that number is down. That's the end of the fiscal year, but we have used some of that. So it's going to be, and I apologize, I don't have that number in front of me right now.
So, I mean, the only reason I'm asking is because I know what the other taxes were from the rest of it. So I'm just wondering if we could just, I'd like to make a motion to reduce it to $10,000. Just because.
Can I get a second on that before further discussion?
Just because, there's already quite a bit of money in there, even if we have used some. And I just think we just need a little bit of work. It's not going to make a huge break, but a little bit of a break.
Dave? Other discussion?
I would highly recommend against this, and I've been a commissioner for 14 years now. And when I came here, we weren't doing the type of maintenance things to keep up with what we need to do. And we've done a lot of work since then, and we can't do that unless we fund these things. This all goes to specific projects, and to cut that by $15,000, in my view, is irresponsible, because we need to maintain our buildings. Otherwise, when you let something slide, then you let something else slide, and we did that for a long time, and then we had to play catch up with a lot of things that we do.
I would just add that I believe there is a lot of deferred maintenance still left to address with Mountain Lakes. So I do think that money can go to proper and effective causes going forward.
Mr.
I'd just like to be clear for legal authority here. What this lady has proposed is an amendment to an existing motion. Correct. Okay.
Go ahead, please. Yeah, Barbara.
Yeah, Bob, you had mentioned the pool, isn't that separately funded for repairs?
Not for facilities stuff. We use the facility stuff for things like the pool. There's a regular maintenance pool a budget that we use. That's for the general maintenance. But like last year, we put in a new heater, and there's a lot.
We have a replacement fund, and then we have the maintenance. So the replacement's a different.
Yeah. Mr. Johann.
Just want to point out, I was on the budget committee when we put these numbers together, and we did eliminate a number of line items in our budget that used to be separate items that we vote on here, vote on there. So I think what kind of happened here, when you see the $25,000, it jumps off the page, but we were basically running several other accounts that we were putting money into at smaller dollar amounts, and we still were funding this $25,000. So this looks big, but it's just pretty much what we had before. It just looks consolidated. It's in one number now. That helps explain why it looks so big. I would recommend not reducing this one, but that's it.
Can you remind me of how these capital reserve funds work? Like, is the money sitting, or is it generating interest? Like, is it better to...
It's generating interest, but it's a joke.
What was that?
It's generating interest, but it's not very much.
Okay. But it's still better to probably put the money in now than put it in next year if we had to pick that. If it was...
Any time that you can reduce your tax rate and maintain the levels so that you've got it for future makes a lot of business sense, good business sense. Because if we don't have, as commissioners, the funds to maintain these buildings, it's going to cost you in the long run, and it's going to cost you more in the long run. That's why we want to make sure that we're funding these things properly so that we can keep up with the infrastructure.
So in my mind, this facilities maintenance is an emergency thing. It's not the general stuff. So when I see a capital reserve fund, it's for emergency stuff. You guys are treating this like this is how you're paying for stuff.
You're right. You're wrong. It's not an emergency thing. It's something like I said. We replaced that deck. That wasn't an emergency, but it was something that was required.
Capital reserve fund is an emergency fund. So if you guys are...
No, you're wrong.
No, let me finish. You guys are using this as your
facilities maintenance, then you should have a maintenance plan so we know exactly what the money is that you plan on doing the following year. So that we know how much money we should plan on putting into this fund.
So a capital reserve account is basically a savings account for this municipality.
Yes.
It's not an emergency fund,
So they should have a plan, so we know we need to put the 25,000 in because this year you guys haven't spent any 60. And that way we have money in reserve in case the boiler goes out or a tree knocks out something in a building. I'm just saying you guys should have a plan so we know the reasoning behind why this fund needs to be so much.
I'm going to go back to Mark's thing, where involvement in the different committees, because there's always discussions about wants and needs and what we need to do. And this is where these things come from. They're brought to the committee, to the commissioners, and we decide, yes, let's pull that out of there. It's a process. And you say, do we have a plan? The plan is that we have some good people in place making decisions saying, yeah, we need this. And they bring it to us and we say, yeah, that makes sense. And again, this is to maintain the infrastructure that we have so it doesn't cost us a fortune down in the future.
If I can just, Mr. Honor.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify, make sure that I'm understanding, is this sort of acting like a savings, like every year we put in 25,000, so when a big project comes up that costs like $75,000, our taxes aren't going to go like skyrocket that year?
That's the way that I understand it.
Correct.
We have two different types of capital reserve funds. Like we've got, it'll be coming up here, we've got the one for the dam. And we put dollars into that every year because we know that we have to do something on the causeway coming up in the future. We have one for the pool replacement, which we know we're going to have to do something with that in the future. And there's 30,000 in one of those, and I think 28 in the other. Those are assigned funding. Mm-hmm. This one here that we're talking about is not assigned. It's assigned once we get the teams coming, whether it's a water team, whether it's a rec team, or the planning. That's when we make the decisions on how we spend that money.
Any other discussion? Yeah. Oh, Lisa, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on, I agree with everything that Bob said. I think, Michelle, to your point, what we probably can do a little bit better as an organization is have a multi-year plan for certain improvements. Absolutely, the committees are bringing in really great suggestions about how we can improve things in the community and the infrastructure, but looking a little farther out ahead, I'm going to make a shameless plug for the master plan project. That's something that should be in the master plan, and I'm looking for volunteers for that. To your point, I think we can do a little bit better with the planning.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Any other discussion on the amendment? So we'll vote on the article as amended.
A vote on the amendment.
No vote on the amendment.
Whether to amend.
Yeah.
On whether to amend.
Yeah.
So we'll place a yes vote up if you want to amend the article to reread it, to $10,000 as opposed to $25,000. All those in favor, hold up your yes card.
That's 1.5. Three.
All those opposed, hold up a no card. Yep.
Okay.
Does that mean no on that?
Listen.
Come on. Trying to lighten things up.
37.
So the amendment fails, so we'll move back to discussion on Article 7 as written. Any other discussion? All right, so Article 7 as written, if you're in favor, please hold up your yes card.
36.
And all those opposed? All right, Article 7 passes as written. Moving on to Article 8. Appropriate to Recreational Facilities Capital Reserve Fund. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be added to the Mountain Lakes Recreational Facilities Capital Reserve Fund, previously established in 1992, revised in 1994. This sum to come from taxation. The commissioners recommend this article and a majority vote is required. Can I get a motion to approve as written? Mark. Second.
Second.
Vote. And any discussion? Seeing no, oh, go ahead, Al.
Is this associated also with the mountain biking or race?
It's recreation as a whole.
Yeah. It would not so much for mountain biking as, anything to do with the beaches, the lakes, the boats that we rent out, anything at the snack bar, anything to do with our recreational services.
Events?
Events, of course, yeah. We paid for the cake at Winterfest and things of that nature for the community.
Is this covered with this usually cover those facilities, or does it go beyond usually? Or?
We have a snack bar that brings in some revenue too, and it may not always be, so we get some money back that way too. So I think 5,000 does us okay right now.
I'm just saying, is it short?
We could always use more, but it's a matter of being.
Well, I know, but the beach, things get expensive at the beach.
Some of that is more of our, our facilities maintenance for the beach and stuff. The rec is mainly like if we're buying a new board game or paddles or something of that nature too. So I think this is a good number right now.
You really challenged Eric there because he won 100,000.
I would take as much as I could for this.
He was going to feed wags out there.
Yeah.
I'll add in to your point at the snack bar, they've done a great job this last year to making Mountain Lakes District stuff, right? Sweatshirts and hats and koozies and the merchandise that makes very cool gifts. So keep that in mind as Christmas and different things go around.
Ooh, nice plug.
Shameless.
All right, any other discussion? Let's vote on Article 8 as written. All those in favor, hold up your yes cards.
Yes.
All those opposed, hold up your no cards. Seeing none, article passes as written.
What was the vote count? I'm sorry.
39-0. Moving on to Article 9. Appropriate to GenOps pool replacement fund. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $15,000 to be added to the General Operations Pool Replacement Capital Reserve Fund, established in 2023. This sum to come from taxation. The commissioners recommend this article. A majority vote is required. Can I get a motion to approve as written?
I so moved.
Robert, you win. Mark, 2. Any discussion?
I just was curious on if you've had estimates on like what the actual replacement's going to be. So you've got 30,000 in, another 15, you got 45. What's it, like 150 grand for a new pool or something?
Easy.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on. There's a lot of different ways you can go with that.
This would be an ongoing fund for the foreseeable.
Keep it going. And if the pool, we talked about it. Fortunately, the pool has been in good shape because when we talked about it, they said, it could bust out on you any day now. And so we've gained a lot of money with this, and there's a lot of different avenues we can take with that. And the other thing, we will have paid off one. Well, we had 3 loans that were significant dollar amounts. Last year we paid off one of them. This year we'll pay off another one, and then we've still got the the dam loan, that's DAM,
not the darn loan.
I've heard it called other things too, but and that thing will go out till 35, I think. But so at some point it wouldn't be if we needed to borrow money for something like that, it wouldn't be out of the question, and it wouldn't do much to the overall budget. So it's just kind of keeping all that stuff in mind.
Every year we get longer, the easier it'll be for us. So.
Exactly. Yep.
Hope it survives.
A couple more.
Yeah.
Ray, what you got? Where's your wife?
Last year, we keep, accumulating money because I know we want to replace the pool. Last year, we implemented the car key system for security reasons. And I thought possibly we were using that, but we're collecting data to see how many ins and outs, how many people are using the pool.
Okay, that's a separate question. This year is to replace the pool, and that what you're talking about was put in a separate article that we put $15,000 to, I think, Mark, and that was all taken out of that and paid for. As far as Mark, you could speak to that a little bit better than I. As far as
we haven't done any analysis on who's using the pool that I'm aware of.
Neither am I. Yeah.
There's a database that you could build from the card usage based on the card numbers. And we gave out, I think, in the neighborhood of 100 cards.
At least, yeah.
At least, maybe 150 cards. So there's a lot of people that are using the pool card system. Whether they're using the pool, I don't think we really analyzed that yet.
Yeah.
We could.
But I think that has nothing to do with this article.
No.
That's if you want to bring that up in a commissioners meeting, and we could take a look at it. And
But I mean, we're throwing a lot of money into a hole in the ground full of water. We have 2 lakes right next to it.
all right, this money that was put into that will none of that would be bad money if we replace the pool. That system would still be in place, and that was one of the considerations that the team looked at when they were doing that. So it's
Go ahead.
I'll just answer that. I know what you're trying to get at. Is we don't have that data readily available. I could look into the key card system and try to see, is it 25 people a day, 40 people a day walking in? That's what you're asking. Right? How many?
It's only open not even 3 months out of the year.
Yeah, I get what your question is. I don't think we were prepared to have that data anytime now. But I could look into seeing if it's available.
So the article here
move the question.
Appropriate sum of $15,000 for the pool replacement capital reserve fund. I'd just like to keep the conversation on that.
You look at the question, I'll second it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to move it just because her hand was up before. So go ahead. Yeah.
I have a quick question about the pool. You had mentioned that it may need to be replaced at some point in the future. Do we know the expectancy of that pool? Are we at the end and we're sort of
Oh, beyond.
Okay, so any day, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Keep knocking on the wall.
Yeah, and that's what I say as a personal feeling about the pool. I think it's a great asset for our community.
Absolutely.
I know that I really enjoy using it, and so does my family, so I think it's great for all of our values as well as in our community.
All right, I'll recognize the motion. Go ahead.
Just say real quick, just thinking about the data that you said you could pull, but you can't tell if Barbara opened the door and I walked in with her.
I can't do
True.
that.
You know what I mean?
This
The
is
best
not.
data you can see is just go by
This
the
is
pool
not
every
with the.
day.
Yeah, no, I get it. We all drive by the pool. People are using it. Any other discussion? Or there was a motion to move.
Motion to move and.
You'll hold your second. Thank you. So Article 9 as written. Hold up your yes cards if you're in favor. All those opposed?
I see one.
Article passes as written. Moving on to Article 10. Appropriate to future dam projects capital reserve fund. to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be added to the Mountain Lakes Future Dam Project's Capital Reserve Fund, established in 2016. This sum to come from taxation. The commissioners recommend this article, and the majority vote is required. I get a motion to. Mike, and a second?
Second.
Okay. Stop in that. Any discussion? Yeah, Alan, go ahead.
What are we talking about here when we're talking about the dam? Are we talking about the structure of the dam, the purpose of the dam, and why is it not associated with water in any way?
This is associated with water. We have talked about it at the water committee meetings. Maybe you weren't at those meetings, but this is something that we've been putting away money for years. The causeway that we've got, that the thing in the middle of the causeway, the spillway, has got to be replaced at some point in time. That has overlived its life expectancy. Probably about close to 10 years ago now, we had divers come in and take a look at that, and we've got video of it. And they said, you've probably got another 10 years on this thing. And he said it may be more. So we're going to have to look into either putting a slip into that one. And we're looking at, I've had conversations with some engineers about doing some different things, putting some actual causeways in underneath it, concrete causeways. So we're looking at different things. But I think we're 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years out when we do that. And it's going to be inexpensive. Anytime that you do anything with a dam, it's expensive.
Are we talking about spillway at the dam, or are we talking about spillway?
We have already replaced the one at the end. We did that back in 2012-13. That one was all replaced at the cost of about $375,000. That one is done. This one is not going to be as major as that. I shouldn't say that. Let me. I heard you chuckling there. I'm not sure what the cost of this is going to be, but that was some incredible work that they did to do that. We had to drain the lake and do it. But it's something we're looking at it. It's got to be done, and it's got to be done over the next several years.
Go ahead.
Just for clarification, this is for the upper dam, not the lower dam.
Correct.
Lower dam is done.
That's correct. Yeah. The lower dam is the one that we're paying for now through Presumpsix.
Any other discussion? All right, to our cards. All those in favor of supporting Article 10 as written, hold up your yes card. All those opposed, please hold up your no cards. Seeing none, Article 10 passes as written. Thank you. Moving on to Article 11. Appropriate the Infrastructure Projects Capital Reserve Fund. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be added to the Mountain Lakes District Infrastructure Capital Reserve Fund, established in 2020, with said amount to come from taxation. The commissioners recommend this article. A majority vote is required. Can I get a motion to approve as written? Mark? Or Mike, sorry. Either way. Mike and Mark, or Mark and Mike. Open to discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Oh.
Yeah, it's just a quick question. Some of the infrastructure differ from like facility maintenance and the other things they all have.
Can you speak up just a little bit, sorry?
How does the infrastructure differ from what the facility maintenance projects? Water projects.
Do we get clarification on what the?
Infrastructure is anything that we got, buildings, roads, pipes in the roads, anything that requires maintenance. That is infrastructure. And with the infrastructure, and it's something we never tried to use, but this year it may be something that we end up using for some of the water breaks to help with that, with the cost of that. But infrastructure is everything that we own.
Doesn't the town of Gable take care of the roads?
When I said roads, and I said the pipes in the roads. What's that?
It's anything. It could be painting this building next. It could be, we need money just to keep these structures that we have, going.
Right, the pipes in the ground are part of our infrastructure.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is the water committee?
What's the question there?
No, it seems like there's a lot of redundancy.
It may be a redundancy, but it's the amount of money that's probably required, or that we feel is required to run an efficient organization.
I don't know if I necessarily agree, but it sounds like,
Can you speak up, please, ma'am?
yeah, sorry. It just sounds like, and I'm not criticizing this at all, but just listening, it sounds like we're raising funds for all these capital reserve funds, and then they're used kind of across all of them.
Yes, in some sense, it can be fluid, depending on what the needs of the year are. So some of this money just savings in case something happens for us, or if we see paint that's chipping somewhere, or something simple, that it can come from that.
Right. And again, I'm going to bring back the Mark thing. It's getting involved and understanding what's going on. If you listen to commissioners' meeting, we talk about the different projects that we have to do, and there's a lot of work. And again, I don't want to see us fall behind as we have in the past. And if we don't raise these amount of funds, we're going to be falling behind. And this year we know that we're already behind the 8 ball with five different breaks. When people say, oh, this looks like a lot of money, the fact of the matter is the tax rate went down. And we always try and look at that when we're figuring out these numbers.
It's not that the tax rate went down, that's great. However, I agree with them. You're saying the same thing about each of these funds. You do the same thing with them?
I missed what you said at first. Something about the tax rate?
I said I think it's great that the tax rate went down. For me, it's not about the tax rate, just the tax rate. I agree with them, and that you're saying the exact same purpose for each of these funds. And I actually do listen to all of the meetings on Zoom after they're recorded. Planning board, the water commission, your commissioners meetings. So, I just think it is very redundant. And I think for us, we need a better definition of how each of these funds are used.
Okay.
It can't be, I'm going to pull water from the water sometimes, from capital reserve sometimes. They need to be more definitely defined what they're for. And I think that would help us understand why we need all of this extra money.
Okay.
And it does go back to Lisa's thing about the whole master plan and making a plan so that we know this year we need to spend $100,000 and this is the funds that the commissioners want to pull it from. So.
You want to respond to that, John?
Yeah, I do. The commissioners are elected to appropriate the monies that are put together. This last year, at the end of the year, we were struggling to make payments. I didn't take the commissioners didn't take their fourth quarter stipend. I just deposited my third quarter stipend the other day because we were that low on funds at the end of the year. And all that money is accounted for, and it went to good use. Like last year, we had a project that come up with the pump house. And we've talked about that during commissioners' meetings, and pictures have been shown on what we did before and after, and plus another loop on it, and that thing probably cost us about $60,000-$70,000. And these things come up, and they've got to be done. So if you want to, it seems like some people want to really strap our hands. You can do that, but you're going to pay for it in the long run, and that's a fact.
Mr. Evans.
The great flexibility and fluidity of these funds is one of those things. We can, with common sense, anticipate some expenses that may happen during the upcoming year, but the fact is we can't anticipate them all. Absolutely. And that's exactly why these funds are as strong as they are. There's no misuse, there's no corruption, no one's putting nothing in their pocket. It's all from that work.
That's not what I said. I just said having them more defined so that when we're talking about that we need this amount of money, we know that the way that they're being used is for X every single time, every single year. So that when we need to do work on a building, we know it's going to come from this fund, so that if things are going great, we need to make sure that fund is bigger. That's all I'm saying, is just more defined and not just, that's the feeling that I'm getting from other people here, is just more definition as to what these funds are used for every year.
If you could, just be recognized. I'm just trying to work my way around the room. I'll come back to you, but go ahead.
I'm good.
Yep, please.
Being on the same topic, as far as funds go for jobs that are repaired, like, when the deck was ran out here, where I am familiar with, I never hear any of that. I hear so-and-so's doing it. What was the bids, how many bids, and, nothing, I don't hear that. So
yeah, I mean, I can't speak to what's been done historically, but I'll use the replacement of our accounting software as an example. And we did mention this at the commissioners' meeting. We had 3 bids, or I should say we approached 3 firms. 1 firm did not submit a bid, 2 did. We did background checks, and we voted on a decision. So, it may be that, I'm not aware of other situations, but that is something that we should be doing, is getting on a regular basis.
Yeah, if I can just add, Article 12 is going to eliminate some of these to get rid of the redundancy as well. So we're working towards that already. Yeah. The other thing I'll just quickly say is, for example, at a pump station, at a pump house, when we went to do the plumbing work, we found out that there was a crack in the foundation. There was just no way to know that until we started digging to do that. So that's where this extra savings comes in, for those oh my God moments that we had no intention of doing it that year, but we had to do it, otherwise the plumbing would have never been touched either, so we had to adjust the foundation and the plumbing at once. So things like that is why we need a buffer.
Other discussion?
Is any of this fund infrastructure on the revitalization for a long time?
Not directly.
It's possible, but it's not directly for it. Yeah.
You have a follow-up? Yeah. Go ahead.
Just for my clarification, I believe that the complaint and my question is, this article seems to be redundant to Article 7, which was already passed. And I question why we need another $25,000 on top of the $25,000 that we approved in 7. And the answer that I heard was, yes, for water and for foundations, and what's 7 for? 7 is talking about facility maintenance, improvement equipment, CRF. So to me, this is redundant to what we've already voted on.
Go ahead.
Okay. And maybe next year we got to look at this and maybe combine these things a little bit more. But the bottom line is, if you combined 2 or 3 with 7 or 11, it'd be $50,000. What we look at is what the budget committee looks at to see what it's going to cost us next year so that we're not scrambling for money at the end of the year like we were last year. This is not an unreasonable request, and it's again, if we want to maintain what we've got, it's going to cost us money. And over the last, since I've been a commissioner, we've tried to keep things as flat as we can, and we've done that, and we did that again this year. And so this is it's not an unusual, it's not an unreasonable request.
Just to go back to that if I can, on page 11, the infrastructure is listed at 89,000 balance. So we're talking about on top of the 89,000 that's already.
That 89,000 that was at the end of the year. That was December 31st. If you're looking at the treasurer's report, that was the end of December 31st. There's probably about 32,000 in there now, if I recall. Again, I hate the fact that we do it like this. We're going on a budget that started back in January, and that's the way it is in New Hampshire. And I've struggled with that for years, and I'm able to deal with it. But the fact of the matter is, we've already used some of that money that was in there because we had to.
We're going to go to legal.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Just one thing I want everybody to understand is that whereas your operating budget is a bottom line budget and you can move expenses, you can overspend lines, and you can, as long as you don't overspend your bottom line, these you still have to be under the purpose of the capital reserve to make the expenditure. So, for example, you cannot use the rec fund for water or vice versa. And so I think that, yes, there is some overlap between 11 and 7, for example. But I want to make sure that folks understand that you still have to be under the purpose, and you can't, it's not a bottom line thing where you can move between purposes when you're talking about CRFs.
Thank you. Other discussion?
Move the question.
All right, seeing no other discussion, we will vote on Article 11 as written. All those in favor, hold up your yes cards. All those opposed, please hold up a no card.
2.
Article passes as written. Moving on to Article 12. Remove unused capital reserve account. To see if the district will vote to discontinue the following trust funds. Said funds and accumulated interest to date of withdrawal to be transferred to the district's fund. The commissioners recommend this article. A majority vote is required. There's a Mountain Lakes Gen Op Legal Capital Reserve in the amount of $19.08. Mountain Lakes Planning Board Legal Cap Reserve, $150.95. Mountain Lakes Unfunded Payroll Legal Cap Reserve, $440.36. Mountain Lakes Vehicle Cap Reserve, $78.97. And I have a motion to accept the article as written. Mark?
Second.
Open for discussion?
I want to get a legal opinion on that. We wrote that to say that it would go into the district fund.
I'm sorry?
And we wrote that to say it would go into the district fund.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
So it's going to go into the unassigned fund balance.
So that we could put it into our regular bag, and then automatically it's going to be a fund balance.
Correct. So I haven't done the math, but this is just revenue that you don't have an appropriation for.
Correct.
For this year. So at the end of the year, it will lapse the fund balance.
Exactly. Okay. Good. Yeah. Thanks.
Any other discussion? Yep.
So this is the total money in all these funds?
No, these are basically capital reserve funds that are no longer being used.
So that's the total we're just dealing with?
That's the total that we're dealing with, the ones that you read off there. The legal capital reserve on both of those we put that into the regular budget, so that we can pay Mike. And the unfunded payroll, we had an issue where we were behind on some things, and we got that corrected. And we no longer need that. In the Mountain Lakes Vehicle Capital Reserve, it was decided that we don't need that, and when we do need a new vehicle, we'll work at it a different way.
Any other discussion?
Where's this money gonna go?
It's going into the general fund, and as Mike just said, at the end of the year, because it's unassigned, it'll end up going into fund balance.
Is that in the report, that fund? Like a unnamed fund?
Fund balance is based on, we get a clearer picture on that when we do the audit, which we're working on that right now for 2024, and we'll be working on 2025s here shortly. And it gives you an idea, but I can sit down and go through everything and look at what we've got in our banks, look what we've got in our capital reserves, look at we got any funding, and anything that is not appropriated is fund balance. Fund balance is it's a different breed, and I think the state recommends that we keep between 8 and 16%.
Yeah, there's different. So DRA has guidelines, and they're in that neighborhood. There are other guidelines, like the Government Finance Officers Association has a different guideline, but you do need some sort of working capital, if you will.
Exactly.
Is one way to think about it. Fund balance is just the difference between your liabilities and your assets, if you think about it that way.
Thank you. That's right.
Well, there isn't like a fund balance listed on it.
Right. It's not an actual account. It's the excess of your assets versus your liabilities. So, for example, you've got, these funds have a particular purpose. They can't be used for another purpose. They're not part of your fund balance. You may have you have a liability for payroll. You have a liability for operational expenses.
Mike, hold you up there. You've got some that are assigned and some that are unassigned.
Exactly.
And like the pool and the dam, those are assigned. They can't be used. The other ones are unassigned fund balance.
Exactly right. And so the assigned, money that you have that is assigned, it hasn't been spent yet, but it's going to be spent for that purpose. It's not part of the unassigned fund balance. The unassigned fund balance, like you said, is just money that you have on hand that doesn't have a purpose. And you can use it, provided that there's an appropriation next year for any purpose. But it's just, that's the best way to think about it. One way to think about it is it's a savings account. It's the taxpayer savings account. That's not exactly right because it's not an actual account, but it's money that's available for use of the district.
Any other questions, discussion? Go ahead.
Quick question. When is those funds available? Next year?
You have to have an appropriation for them. So the board cannot vote to draw on fund balance. The voters have.
Right.
And so sometimes you will see that, appropriations, whatever, if we have one of these big appropriations like the dam or something like that, perhaps we're proposing to draw on fund balance for that kind of an appropriation. You would all have to approve that.
And the recommendation would be made from the budget committee, looking at what we've got from fund balance, and say, okay, fine, we can appropriate this much and still stay within the parameters of what the DRA guidelines or the other organizations got. And it's typically 8 to 16%, I think.
That's for this year or for next year?
That's for next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to our cards. All those in favor of supporting the Article 12 as written, hold up your yes card. Article 12 passes as written. Is there any other legal business that anybody would like to bring before this body? Oh.
I just have a question, maybe for Mike, the lawyer. Interest rates are pretty bad right now. Is there any way that we can put any of our funds into a, say, CD?
No.
It has to be totally liquid.
You have a limited ability to invest. You can't invest in securities, but there is a municipal bond bank that allows you to get a little bit of a better interest rate. And there are some things that you can do by moving money between banks, depending on how much you have. You can maybe get a little bit of a better interest rate. But you can't invest in stocks. You can't invest in CDs, ETFs, anything like that.
The thing is, we've talked about PDIP. Is that the one?
We're getting real close to the end. Just keep the chatter down just for a minute.
PDIP is a thing that we're looking into, and right now they're paying about 3.67. I'm wishful thinking. And I think the capital reserve we're with right now is 2 something. And so we're looking at that, and PDIP is a recognized source that you can use. You don't have the protections of the federal government in either one of these things. But it's PDIP is a well-known thing, and we're looking in that. We've talked about it. We just got to have some money in the bank so we can put it in there, you know. But we're going to look at some of the capital reserve stuff to go in there too, to get better interest rates.
Anything else? No, I just have a couple quick things. The Recreation Committee put together a great little luncheon, so please stick around, have a snack. A lot of discussion about volunteering and putting that kind of stuff out there. So there are those sign-up sheets. If anybody's interested or wants to have a conversation, please do. And then Commissioner Cassidy, you have something that you'd like to say?
Yeah, sure.
Beat it?
Yeah, don't I? Every year we do a person of the year, and this year the person that we selected recognizes volunteers in Mountain Lakes. As a member, he's both a member of the Monto Revitalization and Forestry Committees. Almost every conversation that I've had with him starts with something that says, how can I help, or what can I do? Also, always seeing his wife and grandchildren utilizing the beaches, the bike riding, the kayaks. He's an integral part of this community, and he's still fairly new. So we wanted to recognize someone who's done a lot of volunteering for us this year. It's what we all love to see here in Mountain Lakes, is a person like that just showing up and getting involved with all these communities. And this year,
Right there. Right there.
Oh, right here. So this year we're recognizing Alan Lee. Is Alan still here?
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Thank you, Larry. You guys? Awesome. Very cool. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I think we made it to the end. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Seconded by Eric. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, all opposed?
Good job, Mr. Moderator.
Meeting to an end at 12:34.
Preventative medicine, I think, this year. We should put something on the website that explains how it's calculated. We should put something on our website in terms of how our taxes are calculated. Just like it.
We don't pay for it.
No.
Our taxes aren't calculated.
Well, in terms of how we get to the numbers we get to, what's in the warrant article, what's not in the warrant article. You know what I'm saying? The same question she posed.
Every piece of that is in there. It's just understanding it. And it's...
No, I get that, but I think there'd be less chatter about it at the annual meeting if we had an FAQ on the website that people could look at.
Put it together and let
Yeah, that's what I was
I'm
going to
not
say.
sure the,
So we actually could,
You're gonna-
as a community, we could vote to have
No, I get what you're
deliberative
saying.
session.
it's just,
It comes up every year, that's all.
But to try to set the issue, and flow those people into shaping the database for election. I think that the kind of back off, but one has Mike, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Dave, one person, that was it.
There was only one person.
Yeah.
Do you have a bunch of people sitting in there that were waiting to get on?
No?
You have a lot of angry emails?
No?
Because usually Officer Irene would be on, and Emily.
No, I was keeping an eye on it. There was nobody.